All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number 15. That is right, week number 15. Boom, boom, boom. Week number 15 of your 9443 class, which is your academic libraries class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin. And the first thing that I want to make sure that you all do is applaud yourselves because you all have made it through. And I actually am very proud of you all for that. Let me just say that this has not been an easy semester. I know that I have been super late with grading discussion board prompts in this semester. I hope that I said earlier in the semester that I was not going to be reading those right away and that I would be reading them some weeks later. It turned out that it was a lot of weeks later. But I'm going to be getting those all caught up for you throughout this week and everything. And yeah, so you'll have a clear vision of where your grade is headed. Now, I will say that the writing assignments that you all have had in this class, they've already been graded. So really, for the most part, unless you just totally mailed it in with your discussion board prompts, as long as you did your discussions and were as long as you have some thought and some substance to your discussions, you're going to get the full, and you did the at least 2 per week, then you're going to get your credit for that. So if you've been participating, then you should have a pretty good idea of where your grade is going anyway. But certainly, again, once I get done, you're gonna once I get done through this week and reading your and catching up and putting grades in on your discussion board prompts, then you're gonna really see where you are prior to turning your final paper in, and you all are gonna do fine probably on the final paper as well. I don't anticipate you all, based on how you did on your first papers, I don't anticipate a lot of problems with the final papers in here. Aside from the slowness of grading, I do hope that you all, I hope, and let me know in the let me know in the student evaluations, and I know you all will, but I do hope that outside of how long it took me to actually grade your assignments, you got a lot out of this course. Again, I try to do things a little differently, and I hope that's appreciated. I don't just stick to the academic side, the dry academic side, and the philosophy and all of the theory and all of that stuff, and the history and that sort of thing. I actually do try to mix some practical stuff in. I try to talk about some things that don't get talked about enough. That's why I had the guest speakers in. That's why I talk about basic things like fines and have a presentation on signage and things like that. Again, I hope that you all can appreciate that that was to round out this experience and really kind of immerse you into some of the things that you're going to encounter or need to know if you decide to go the academic library route. But what I will say from there is that I do feel that there is a lot of reward. I feel that there is a lot of reward going the academic library route. I think that the public library route too. Any library route has probably got a lot of reward, but what I want to say when it comes to the academic library is there's the safety, which I like. This is a safe job. It's a pretty comfortable job. In fact, it's a comfortable job to the point where I used to be one who was just like ready. Like when I was a newspaper reporter, I was ready, for whatever was coming my way. And working in the academic library has kind of accustomed me to people acting professionally, to people expressing their anger a certain way and those sorts of things. In a way, I actually think that that even made me kind of soft, to be honest with you, because I'm in a situation where I'm in a situation where I'm just how should I say this? Like I don't have to deal with a lot of conflict, so when conflict does happen, it can be overwhelming, and that is one of the pitfalls of being an academic librarian. But outside of that, I enjoy a no conflict life. I enjoy low conflict. I enjoy low drama. And so a lot of times academic librarians actually do create drama for themselves. And I will say you don't have to be that way. You don't have to just go if you find yourself in an environment where you're being paid well and you don't have to have a lot of physical risk. You're not out there on the front lines, getting shouted at or because let's keep it real, most academic librarians, I don't care. Most academic librarians don't get shouted at a whole lot. They don't get cursed out a lot. And the public library is very different. In the public library, I got threatened and cursed out, and had security have to protect me from a guy who thought I was flirting with his wife and a bunch of stuff like that. And I never had to deal with that drama in the academic library. What I had to deal with in the academic library were people who, I don't know, I guess maybe they had it too good or something of that nature, but whatever was going on, they were when we had these little petty issues come up in the academic libraries, and sometimes I would feed into it, but also sometimes I would just say, hey, look around you. Look around you. It's books, it's students studying, it's professors who are not scared. I will whoop a professor's ass if he, let me just say, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't think there's a single, if I were working at Mizzou's academic library, I don't think there's a single professor on the at Mizzou's campus that can take me. Okay, so if they want to get Buck, I'm gonna get Buck. No, there are definitely students who can take me. There are athletes who can take me for sure, and students who are not athletes that can take me. But if you made me fight every professor at Mizzou, I whoop them all. And I'm not saying that because I'm bad. I'm just saying that because why? Why hide it? Why hide it? And again, the reason that I say that is, you're not on the street in the academic library. You are not out there having to worry about, usually, you're not out there having to worry about who's having a bad day and how that can affect you when they come into your academic library and you're the person that they haven't slept, they haven't eaten, they may have slept on the street last night. In the public library, you have to deal with those types of things. And in the academic library, not so much. And so I don't want us to lose sight of how good we have it. I'll tell you a quick anecdote. A police officer at UMKC, I was just kind of shooting the breeze with them one day a few years ago, right before the pandemic started. And this UMKC campus officer, he told me, he was like, well, yeah, I wish one thing you all, when talking about librarians, he said, I wish one thing you all wouldn't do is call us when you get cursed out, because what are we going to do? And that really is how good a lot of these academic librarians have it. They have it so good that they're calling the cops when they get cursed out. And anyone just in general out there in the world, they think that's crazy. But that's something that academic librarians do, because there is a peace that you can have in this career if you want it. If you want it. You can't have it enduring all the time, but you can certainly have it at key points, okay? And I want you all to have peace. I want you all to have peace, prosperity, job security, comfort, all those things. I love those things, and I'm sure you all do too, and I want you all to have them. And so if you want that, academic libraries are a good place for you to land, but then also still strive for work-life balance, because these academic libraries will work you to death, and they will try to make you, I call it a cult. They will try to make academic libraries in particular, but libraries in general, they will try to become your whole identity if you let them. And I've suffered from a lot of compassion fatigue and a lot of burnout, and just a lot of a lot of just distress, not because the job was hard, it wasn't, but because the people, the co-workers, it's nuts. It's nuts what you see out of some of them. And so, again, I would just say, maintain a proper work-life balance, maintain boundaries. If you have porous boundaries and you're planning to go into academic libraries, then please see a therapist. I'm not playing. See a therapist about your boundaries. Early on in your career, I wish I had. I was deep in my career before I talked to a therapist about my boundaries and how porous they were, and it was terrible. And it was really weighing on my quality of life. And I want to serve as a lesson to you all. You don't have to make my mistakes. You shouldn't make my mistakes. Don't make my mistakes. Maintain work-life balance. Don't make academic librarianship a cornerstone of your identity. Realize the benefits, the comforts that come with academic librarianship. Realize those and appreciate those, including stable pay. It's not going to be great pay. Certainly, our pay doesn't go up with inflation the way it should. But even then, you've got the job security and job stability a lot of times, and that goes a long way too. All right. So count your blessings. Count your blessings. Talk to a therapist about those things that don't seem like blessings, and prosper. Prosper. That's what I want for all of you. Prosper. I am Dr. Jason. As far as this class, you have finished that race. So go ahead, do that last discussion board prompt, do that final paper, and then enjoy your holidays. I love you all. Take care.